Mohammed Rasul is a Vice News journalist who was jailed in Turkey, and yesterday we got the news that he was released on bail. They say, quote, Rasul was arrested in August while reporting from the city of Diyarbakir, which lies in a heavily Kurdish region of southeastern Turkey. Rasul is not allowed to leave Turkey, and he has to check in with police twice a week while he awaits trial. He was covering the escalating tension between police and the youth faction of the Kurdistan Workers' Party, or the PKK, this past summer when he was picked up for not having proper government identification, and they were later charged with aiding a terrorist organization. Or I should be clear here, he was charged with aiding a terrorist organization, and he was with, I believe, a few other journalists and a few other people, and they were released. Now, why is it that he was charged with this and the others were released earlier than he was? And again, he's still going to be on trial, which is crazy. Answer, he's Kurdish. He was born in Kurdistan in Iraq. So, for those of you who don't know the region well, or you don't know the Turkish government well, here's who they're not a fan of. Kurds. They've oppressed the Kurds for a very long time. And, in fact, they're so against the Kurds that as they claimed to be doing a crackdown on ISIS and really going after ISIS full bore, what were they doing? They were attacking the Kurds. They were attacking the Kurds who were attacking ISIS. So they were de facto aligned with ISIS as they were saying, no, we're totally against ISIS and we're totally fighting them. Let me tell you. Not good. Not good. This is a bad situation. And this is, yet again, another example of Tayyip Erdogan and this increasingly fundamentalist government in Turkey acting in an authoritarian way. I can't tell you how many stories we've covered over the past year with on just how extreme this guy is. I mean, he jails people for doing their job. I believe they have over a dozen journalists in jail in Turkey. Why? You didn't sufficiently blow Tayyip Erdogan, so he's going to throw you in jail. They locked up a poor kid for tearing down an Erdogan poster. That's enough to get you locked up. They locked somebody up for mocking Erdogan by comparing him to the Lord of the Rings character Gollum. That's enough. Oh, you've offended the dear leader. Lock him up. Okay, this is not a free country anymore. This is an authoritarian regime now. There's question marks as to what was going on behind the scenes with various elections that Erdogan won. As we discussed yesterday, he's pulling the old Vladimir Putin move, which is, hey, I'm prime minister. Guess what? Since I'm prime minister, the prime minister has a lot of the power, most of the power in our country. And then when he runs out there, okay, now, hey, I'm going to run for president. Hey, I won the presidency. Now I'm declaring that the presidency has all the power and the prime minister doesn't because I'm the president now. And he's trying to make constitutional changes and give himself endless power to the point where he said recently to the media, with no shame whatsoever, yeah, no, my idea of an efficient government structurally is Nazi Germany. I would like more unitary power, kind of like in Nazi Germany, what Hitler had. Who says that? Who says, even if you believe that, you have to be smart enough to not say it. But he's like, no, Hitler's Nazi Germany, yeah. So you're admitting, I would like Turkey to be more of a fascist dictatorship now. And he wants to remake Turkey in the image of Tayyip Erdogan. And the funniest thing about this guy, not that anything's really funny about him, but the funniest thing is that as he does all this, as he acts in a grotesque, immoral, disgusting way, he truly believes, because he's stupid enough to believe, that he's some sort of hero. Like this guy, he has an opinion of himself that's so high. He thinks he's like the savior of the world, this jackass. Meanwhile, everybody on the outside is like, dude, you're a fucking clown. I said it before, I'll say it again. He's the exact kind of personality that will make it so we blunder our way into World War III and don't even realize it. And a good example of that was when he shot down the Russian plane. Now, thankfully, Russia showed some restraint, which is rare for Russia. But who shoots down a Russian plane? They didn't have a good reason to do it. They made up reasons. You were in our airspace, something. Really? What are they going to do? Who are they going to attack? What's going to happen? No, what they're doing is they're bombing Islamists and jihadists in Syria. And perhaps some of the Islamists and jihadists not only were coming through Turkey, but they were Turkmen, which is people of Turkish descent in Syria. They don't like that. One thing Turkey doesn't like, ethnic Turks, you're going to go after ethnic Turks? I don't care if they are terrorists. We're going to shoot down your plane. And then not apologetic, nothing. He doesn't even realize it. And look at what he's doing, man. An innocent journalist, a guy who's doing his job and reporting the facts. And by the way, that is why he got locked up in the first place. Make no mistake about it. If you cover the facts on the ground in Turkey, you're going to find out very quickly it's the Kurds who are the good guys. And it's the brutal crackdown of Erdogan and his people and the government forces. They're the bad guys. So if you report that, well then, hey, we're going to have to lock you up because you're not sufficiently blowing the dear leader. And don't get me wrong, guys. Are there some examples of PKK terrorists actually being terrorists and doing attacks, for example, on civilian populations in Turkey? Yes. I condemn that. That's wrong. I'm against violence against civilians in all cases. But the bulk of the violence here is carried out by pro-Erdogan forces against the Kurds, and there's a history of oppression against the Kurds in the region. So this isn't a 50-50 thing. It's not equal. Sure, the Kurds do some wrong things every now and then, but when Erdogan reliably lines up with Muslim fundamentalists and with ISIS and jihadists over the Kurds, there's a deep, deep problem here. And this is just another aspect of his character on display, where he releases a journalist on bail. He's still going to try him on supposed terrorism charges, but even that's nowhere near good enough, but it's viewed as like, oh, well, wasn't he kind? No, fuck him. Fuck him. Release him completely and apologize. And on top of that, you should give him some monetary reward for keeping him locked up for 4 months in a fucking jail cell when he's just doing his job. You're the bad guys here.